So Larry Lawton was a criminal that robbed a lot of banks, and he made over $100 million while robbing them before he got caught. Now that's cool and all, but this got me wondering if he was actually born this way, or was he actually taught to do this kind of stuff? And you know why we're here. Was Larry born to be a criminal? We're gonna find out right now. Now there is one thing I do want to point out before we jump into this. As of right now, when I edit this whole entire thing, there is no footage whatsoever on Larry's robbings and all that. So you're not gonna see any live footage of him just like grabbing and going and just like driving off. So don't expect any of that. Also, a big note. Pardon me for just sounding like I'm reading a script, because I am, and I was very exhausted making this video, despite the naps I took. Alright, now we start. So who was Larry, what was Larry, and how is he right now? After some procrastinating and laziness, I went to bed the next morning to do my research tomorrow. Trust me, I'm really going to need this. Okay, so today is the day that I actually start doing my work. I honestly completely forgot about it, so might as well do it now. So I booted up my computer, booted up Chrome, and just typed in his name. The first site that popped up was, surprisingly, but not surprisingly, Wikipedia. So I clicked on the link, hopefully to find a lot of info on him, but the website was really dry. Wait, that's it? Is that really it? Dude, you gotta be serious. He wrote a book, has a YouTube channel, and he's a motivational speaker. What? He's all this, but there's only this much about him. Larry? You gotta get on top of this, man. This is not cool. Jeez, man. This is really it, huh? After some quick searching on the interwebs, well, from what I know, he's an ex-jewel robber. Well, of course he is. Now, when I mentioned banks at the beginning of the video, that was actually a lie. He wasn't actually robbing banks. As I said, he was an ex-jewel robber. He robbed 20 jewel stores until getting caught in 1996 when he served 11 years in prison. After getting out in 2007, he changed his ways, and you'll see what he made of himself later in the video. Now, how is he now? He's doing pretty good, actually. So yeah, we know all this, but how do we know if he was not just genetically engineered to rob banks? Well, I learned something from school. I know, right? Imagine. I learned something called nature versus nurture, which in a nutshell describes whether or not one is born to be a certain way or is influenced to behave a certain way. So, what do I believe? Well, I think he was influenced to be this way. Why, you may ask? Roll the clips!
So how did you get into the business of stealing gems? I know you grew up tough in the Bronx. Your neighbors were kind of working class and or in the mob, but how does that lead to you stealing gems?
Well, I mean, first thing is, when I grew up around that life. And when I say the life, the mobsters next to me, the mobster down the block, and the guys with the Cadillacs, the money, and then there's the working families, obviously, like you said. But then when I was always a hustler. When I say young, I was 11, 12 years old doing football tickets, making money. I remember making $125 in a week in 1972. 70, you know, I mean, that's a lot of money for a kid. And what were we doing? Gambling with it.
I'm going to do the math on that.
Yeah.
How much a week?
$125 a week.
1972, $125. That's $775 in today's money.
And
per week.
And I was just turning 12 years old.
So that's $3,000 a month at age 12.
At age 12. Making money hand over foot. And gambling it and losing it and partying with it and going doing crazy things, buying the stupidest stuff in the world. Because I'm a kid. But I love to hustle. I learned to hustle. And then we graduated to even stealing cars. We used to steal meat. We literally put was it Safeway or Pathmark it's a northern grocery chain. We put them out of business, Jordan. We were stealing. We had guys working in there, bringing out the meat and the lobsters, putting it outside. We pick it up at night. We go sell it up and down the avenue. It was, I mean, we always had hustles going. Then we were stealing cars and bringing them to a chop shop in New York, and we were getting $500 a car. Off on the with the church and abuse. Well, you know, at that point, that's when I started to get a little bit wild. And, you know, people said, man, Larry, he's a changed kid, you know. I wouldn't go to church, all that. But I also started getting violent. I used to like to fight. My brother and I would fight. Peter works with me today, says, you guys were hornets, man. You'd be in a net fighting. One story, we were playing hockey, street hockey. And we had roller skates on. We had the net set up. And back then, you know, fighting was like kind of normal in hockey. So it would like be a cool thing if you got into a fight during a hockey game. And what do you think we're going to do? Well, my brother and I get into a fight, and we both get our skates caught in the net, and we're fighting like hornets. And I get out of mine first. I get out of my skates first, and I grab a 2x4, and I slam and split my own brother's head open. I know it's crazy. It's just that violence was in me, and I think now, looking back, a lot of that had to do with my abuse. How did the scenario of being caught cross your mind? Did the thought of being caught motivate you, give you a thrill, or did it cause you to consider quitting? You know, I never pictured even getting caught. I knew I'd get caught. Everyone knows they're going to get caught. Anybody who's got half a brain knows they're going to eventually get caught. You keep doing it. Even the FBI asked me, why did you keep doing it? You had money. You know, you were living the life. You had your own limousine. You had horses. You had a boat. You did everything. You had homes. Why did you keep going? It was such a thrill. There was no question. It's an adrenaline rush. Like, it's hard to explain. I've done every drug in the book, and there's no drug that can compare to the thrill of robbing something. I was a professional. I was driven by completing the crime, getting the money, and had an end goal. I wouldn't hurt somebody or just do it for a thrill. I did it for a reason. It was money. And I was motivated that way. And I'm not proud of that. It is what it is. And ask me anything. This is what it is.
Hey, you guys made it to the end. So yeah, as you guys can tell, Larry Lawton is doing really well right now. A YouTuber, an author, and he's actually an honorary police officer. What would you know? And he just likes to spread the love out there and just help people that are just stuck in the loop of just criminal activity in general. If you guys are generally interested in what he actually does, be sure to check out his YouTube channel. It'll be linked into this video's description, so hopefully you give it a look and it might actually interest you. So hopefully I got my point across, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Later.